Well, as we get closer to the finals, we're going to have a look at the top 5 and who's going to be the top 4, because it's so crucial in the AFL's final system that a top 4 team historically will win the grand final. As you look at the ladder there, as it stands at the moment, Hawthorn, Sydney, Geelong, all on 56, and the percentages favouring the Swans and the Hawks. They aren't going to finish outside the top 2 unless something really bad happens. Cats have got Fremantle covered on points but not on percentage, and the one that looks most likely to miss out is Port Adelaide on 48 points, 130%, with Sydney and Fremantle to come in their next and last games.
Yeah, it's going to be a big month, isn't it? And look, I think Port Adelaide are a team that won't be in the top 4. I think Fremantle can jump in. They can really, I think they can beat Geelong this week. Their back half of the year looks strong. They'll get some really key players back, and they'll be hard to beat in the West.
They do have a very tough draw. Yep. They've got Geelong, Hawthorn next week away, and then Port Adelaide at home in the last game with a free kick against the Gold Coast across that 4-week period.
Yeah, I think, and Ross Lyon has really spoken about how their side really needs to come together. They've had some in-house meetings, and sometimes that results in some really good results. But I think Fremantle on the side. Geelong, for me, are a good side, but I just don't think they're a top 4 side, and I don't think they can win the flag.
Brisbane, not the Gold Coast. And the other question I need to ask is Hawthorn or Sydney? Who's going to win the minor premiership?
I think Sydney will. I think Sydney can put so many goals on the board very, very quickly. Their side is strong. They've got 2 players coming back this week in Buddy and Henneberry. I think they're the side that can win the minor premiership.
Have you ever noticed a side, I mean, you look at the Sydney Swans and you say Buddy and Henneberry come back. Have you ever seen a side that has so many players that are fit and raring to go, as opposed to previous years where there's always 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 key players that are injured? In the case of the Swans, it's hard to find one.
Well, traditionally they've been really good at it, haven't they? They very rarely use a lot of their players. They keep them very fit. They time their run really well. They were criticised, if you remember, through the Paul Roos era and Longmire era about not competing in the NAB Cup, and their first 5 games are always a bit scratchy, but they time it so well. Their late season games are fantastic, and their finals footy is terrific. Whether they have to travel or they don't, they play really well. So they're a side that's got it right. They know the right mixture, and often, more than often, they get it so right.
And if you look at some of the players that are in the reserves at the moment, you've probably got 4 or 5 players there that would walk straight into any top team anywhere else.
Well, Tom Mitchell's one of those players, isn't he?
Can't get a
gets
start.
50 touches a game in the 2s. They say he's in their best side. They're working on him with a few different things. And of course, the Norm Smith medalist
from 2 years ago.
From 2 years ago, O'Keefe can't get a run. Yeah,
Derricks is there as well, and they've got a number of players. But the good thing for other clubs, I suppose, is they might be there for the picking a bit later on in the season if they're getting a bit frustrated playing in the 2s.
Absolutely, and Harry Cunningham's the player that's keeping Ryan O'Keefe out. He's just come in and just moulded into that group so well. Parker's another one. Kennedy's arguably the Brownlow favourite. They've got players all over the park that are in great form. Buddy Franklin's nailing it. Henneberry's a star. So who can beat them? Hawthorn on their day, possibly, but it's hard to see at the moment.
Well, there's the thoughts of Mark. He thinks that the Swans will win the minor premiership, and he thinks Port Adelaide might be the unlucky ones to miss out on the top 4.